Okay, so we're on the line with Matt Trukovich, promoter of the RFO, Ohio's premier fight organization. For those of you too lazy to click the link to the video, Matt did a video recently that went semi-viral, breaking down the numbers for fight shows. Matt, can you talk about a little bit, what made you want to do that video?
A lot of times in this business, promoters get the rap of like a used car salesman.
Yep.
And fighters and teams, I mean, I've been doing it since I was 6. A lot of guys know that that's not the case, but you still get that kind of, you get that attitude from fans. And they go to the fights, they look in the crowd, oh, there's 800 people here. They take the cost of the ticket, multiply that by 800, and think that's the money that's being made by the promotion.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be a little more transparent and let people know what goes into these shows financially. And it's something that the fighters and the fans have been wanting, you know. I mean, transparency, I think, is the future of business, and it makes it fair for everyone. So, you know, these guys want to squeeze a little bit for more gas money or this or that. It's just, I wanted to show them what's inside the udder, I guess. That's the way to explain it.
Yeah, and what really interested me about it is, you know, I've been in the fight game a little while, and I was one of those people. I always thought, like, yeah, promoters were making bank, and like you said, I'd look at the crowds, you know, I'd look at especially the beer, you know, everybody's buying beer, and beer's $2, $3, like, these people must be making a killing. And it really, really shocked me the way you broke down everything, and that really, like, I was like, wow, more people need to see this, and that really made me want to do this article. And so the next question is that I think people are going to want to know, you know, if there's not that much money to be made in it, then why keep doing it? What makes you want to keep running the RFO all these years?
Well, anytime you do something for so long, it becomes a part of who you are. You know, like I'm a fight guy. I live in a small town, and everywhere I go, that's what people want to talk about. And I've seen it change people's lives. I mean, I was a street kid. I was getting in a lot of trouble. If it wasn't for my daughter in MMA, I probably would be in prison right now. I mean, it really redirected my life, and I've seen it do it for so many people. I mean, Cody Stevens is the kind of guy that if he didn't have the MMA outlet, you know, God knows where he'd be, or so many people. Mike Williams, so many people that have come to the RFO, I've seen it give their life direction. So it's not really about making money, but it has to be about not going broke in doing so. That's the balance that we have to try to find here.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely can relate to that. And I guess the same thing really can be said of competing and fighting too, because outside of the UFC, there's really not much money to be made in competing in the cage either, yet guys keep doing it. So
yeah,
before...
I think it's a part of who they identify with, you know, and it gives them a purpose. That's what we're all here for. We got to find our purpose.
Now, before you were a promoter, you're actually a licensed professional fighter in the state of Ohio. You fought for a while. So now, coming from that world of competing, being on the other side of it, did your experience as a competitive fighter did you draw anything from that to kind of navigate through the world of promoting? Like, did you say as a fighter, like, I'm going to do this differently because I've been on the other side of this?
Oh yeah, that as a fighter and a fan, you know, we went to some shows where we didn't get home till 3 in the morning because the intermissions would last forever and the shows would drag on so they could sell more beer and make more money. That's not what the fans want to do, you know. They want to get in and get out. But as a fighter, when we have our professional fighters, as soon as they're done getting checked by the doctor, they're paid at the cage. I used to go and fight, and then we'd have to stand in line. We couldn't even go to the after party because we have to stand in line outside a closed door to wait for our checks to get paid. And we can be there till 1:30, 2 in the morning. Everyone starts looking at each other. Are we even going to get paid? You know, that happens so often. I mean, as soon as the work's done in the cage, you should be paid and go on your way. I mean, you're paid for a service and your time, so that we shouldn't keep fighters there longer. But yeah, that went into a huge part of why I did it. The real reason why I fought in the first place, I was never really passionate about fighting, but I wanted to gain credibility. I didn't want to put somebody in the cage or have someone do something for me that I wouldn't do myself. You know what I mean?
And do you think a lot more, you know, amateur and professional fighters relate to you on that level because you fought, and especially, you know, you fought back when it was kind of the wild, wild west. I mean, really pre 2008, which wasn't really that long ago. I mean, things were a lot different than they are now, I'd say.
Yeah, in 2006, I mean, there wasn't even much commission, and that's when I was, I mean, not 2006, but pre-2006, there wasn't even a commission. I mean, we were throwing fight cards together, and one fight actually fought my little brother just to make the fight happen, so we could get the card for one of our friends, you know, that was putting on the show.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since then, and it's for the better, but at the same time, sometimes these regulations that we get with the commission are, they're coming from people that don't understand the fighters, they don't understand the training camps. To me, that's, to be, if you want to relate to a fighter, put in a 6 or 8 week training camp. The fighting is not the hard part, it's the camps and the cutting weight. Yeah, I mean, you see a guy, he's wanting to weigh in, and then everything's running late. I mean, you can really relate to
that's every fight show.
You've done that, you know. Yeah, for sure.
Now, what do you think about the same day weigh-ins for professionals? How do you see that?
Well, we've gotten they changed it back. The same day weigh-ins are no longer a thing, but they are doing reweighs now. The 155 and under have to weigh in 5 or 8 pounds of the 155 class, and then 170 and above, they have to weigh in 13 pounds of that class. So if you're a 170 fighter, you have to reweigh the next day at 183 or less. I like the direction of where they're heading, but I'm not so sure if that's the answer. I just wish people would quit cutting weight altogether. It's not a benefit if both guys are trying to kill themselves the day before. We just get a watered down athlete when you go to that extreme to try to cut weight, and it's not beneficial. It's more of a culture thing than it is a benefit anymore.
Yeah, everybody does it because everybody else does it.
Right.
Now, as far do you
there's
think
an element of self-torture in that too as well?
Oh,
fighters kind of like that.
Do you think there are any rule changes that you would like to see in MMA to the unified rules?
Yeah, I think to cut down on the weight cutting, I think we should go to every 10-pound weight class.
Like
120, 130, 140, 150, 160. Yeah, more weight classes. I mean, 205 to 265. I mean,
that's huge.
That's ridiculous. Even 170 to 185 is a stretch. Yeah, so every 10 pounds. And then I wouldn't mind the promoters or the camps knowing what guys weigh at the beginning of their fight camps. Call and say, okay, what do you weigh right now? And then we decide what you're going to fight at.
Yeah.
Instead of it's 165, then they want to fight at 135. Yeah. And a lot of times promoters and commissions don't know their walk-around weight. So maybe keeping record of where their walk-around weight's at would help eliminate some of this.
Yeah.
I mean, science shows that your brain is the last thing to dehydrate, or to rehydrate. So your body might look like you're rehydrated come fight day, but your brain's not there, and then you're going to go out there and take shots to the head. It's just not feasible. It's not going to last, because we're going to start seeing damaged goods, I think.
Now, you talked about it a little bit at the end of your video, but I'd really like to give you a platform to go into a little more detail. But what can we do, I mean, especially even just here in Ohio, to help grow MMA and help grow the scene, and maybe even make it so these promoters can make more money, so you can put on more shows, and so guys can make the money that they want? What can we do as fans, as fighters, as coaches? I mean, what would you like to see happen to help Ohio MMA grow even more?
Well, a lot of people tell me, man, you need a corporate sponsor. The problem with corporate sponsors is you lose your identity when you bring in big dollars like that. So my platform, what I'm trying to do is bring in local businesses, bring in your mom and pops that want to get the word out and want to share their product. That way, you can, if you know someone that owns a business, you know your ideals are the same, you share the same values. That's where I want to go with this. You kind of lose yourself with a corporate sponsor unless you can get on board and they understand your vision and share that vision. So one big deal is sponsors. The other big deal is, like, a lot of times first-time fans that come to the RFO shows, they come up to me afterwards like, oh my God, man, I didn't know it was like this. So the general public kind of thinks that we're running like a fight club or something. They don't understand that these are legitimate athletes. We're putting out a good product. That's why I'm bringing in names like Brian Rogers and Charles Bennett. I'm trying to get people to look and say, hey, man, these guys were on TV a couple months ago. Look at this product. So we just need to get more to the common fan, because right now all we're drawing is fighters fans. And another thing that I'd like to see that is fans come to fights regardless of who's on the card. Like, let's say Drew Schottenheimer, he sells 80 tickets.
Yeah.
I want to get, he's not on the next card, I want to get at least 60 of those people to come just to the fight, to see the RFO, not just the specific fighter. Or if a fighter drops off, you have the fighter goes and returns all his tickets. I would like to see those fans say, hey, man, no, it's going to be a great show anyway. To me, I want fans of the sport, not just of the athletes.
Not just for one guy. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And I understand why people come. Sometimes moms and dads are not going to come watch a fight unless there are kids in it, but they're going to be entertained regardless.
Now, there was a guy, I'd like to get your opinion on this. I'm not going to say his name. He's a guy that I do respect a lot. I just disagreed with this one thing. He posted recently, he said, you pros who will fight for 500 and 500 are ruining the sport. And I thought to myself, somebody was getting ready to turn pro myself, like, man, somebody offers me 5 and 5, like, I'm going to jump all over. What is this guy talking about? What do you think of that? And as somebody who's kind of navigated that world of professional fighting and kind of managing yourself, what advice do you have for guys getting ready to enter that world of professional fighting on the business side?
Yeah, you're not going to, I understand. If the money was there, if the water was in the well, man, I would love to pay these guys, even entry-level guys, 1-on-1. But that's not feasible. It's not sustainable. 1K and 1K is what I think everyone should make, because you're going in there and putting it on the line. But if you're in this for money, you're going to come up short. Some of the biggest gyms that I work with, they know that there's no money in the regional scene, so they just want to get fights. They want to get wins. Your goal should be to make it to the big show and then make the money. Your client, you can't find gold on every rung of the ladder. You just have to stay focused on the top of that ladder. Like I said, the biggest gyms that I work with, money is not even, they don't even talk money much. They just want to get wins. They want to build a record. And another thing with that is a lot of these guys only want to fight guys they know they can beat. That's not how you get to the big show either. You can be 15-0 and fought only cans, and they're not gonna call it. They want guys that are gonna get in there and perform with the best athletes and have been tested.
Now you've seen firsthand some guys, who have went to compete at the highest levels of the sport. Are there any maybe intangible things that you've observed that you can say, like, this is what makes a top level fighter?
Yeah, that realization that there's not money here in this level, and they come to fight guys that are going to help them get to the next level. Like I was saying, if you want to get to Bellator, UFC, and you're 5-0 or 6-0, and then you turn down a fight against another 4-0, that's not going to get you to the next level. Here's a perfect example: Devontae Smith versus John Gunther. That was a fight that,
man, that was a great
both
fight.
of those guys, they had so much to lose, but so much to gain. It's a risk versus reward. If both of those guys would have fought on my card and then fought guys that they were guaranteed wins, no one would still be talking. They would just, they didn't catapult themselves to the next level. Even though Devontae Smith got beat by John Gunther, he showed that he could put someone out like John Gunther.
Yeah, there was no loser in that fight.
Finishing it.
Yeah, there was no loser in that. That was fantastic. I probably watched that on YouTube about a dozen times. That was just a war. All right, I got one more question for you. So obviously, the guy that everybody's been talking about for a while is Conor McGregor. You can't even talk about MMA without the guy's name coming up. Obviously, what he has done very well is he's self-promoted, and in addition to having the skills, he's got the mouth, he's kind of got the charisma, so to speak. Is there anybody in Ohio that you think kind of has the potential to be that next big superstar?
Well, we knew Cody Garbrandt had that. man, it's the problem right now that we're having, and with pros. And I hate to say this, but this is just the realist in me.
Yeah.
A lot of our stars are aging. You know, they're getting up there as far as the pro levels. They're getting up there in age. They got high miles, tons of fights. They have the star potential, but again, what are they going to do against a young up and comer? You know.
Yeah.
So, man, that's a tough one. I really like Cameron McIntosh. He's an amateur, but he has finishing power, and he has the personality.
Yeah.
And then of course we got Devontae Smith, John Gunther. Those guys are going to go to the next level. And Lucas Chernowski. He didn't have the personality yet, but that comes with confidence in getting your wins.
You saying Lucas Ransbottom?
No, Luka Chernowski. He's from Strong Style. He's a Serbian.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he's 7-0 now.
Yep. 85er, right?
What? 170.
Okay.
Yep.
I tell you who
Jeff Hughes at heavyweight. If we can just get him a lot of it's image too, man. These UFC wants guys that are all muscled up, hard bodies.
Yeah.
Sometimes those aren't the toughest guys.
Yeah. I tell you who really stuck out to me, especially when I was formulating this question, was Travis Davis. You know, I don't know the guy personally, but I fought on the same card as him down at the Arnold's last year, and the freaking crowd that this dude brought with him was nuts. I mean, being a guy, I'm pretty sure it was either his first or second pro fight, but I mean, 90% of that damn building was there for Travis Davis, and he seemed to me to have that potential. And then he gets in the cage and delivers too. And another one that I thought you were going to say was Cody Stevens, for sure. Cody Stevens, I mean, is a guy that I look up to a lot, and I think he has quite the large following. He's not quite as cocky as maybe Conor McGregor, but he definitely has built an image for himself.
Yeah, Cody is I know Cody personally. He's not just he helped me build the RFO. He's a good friend of mine. Him and his wife are very, very close to us. So it's kind of, for me to say that, it would be a little...
Yeah.
But I don't know anyone else that works as hard as Cody Stevens.
He's just all guts. I mean, he is 110% guts.
And he gets better and better. I mean, his problem is the injuries, you know, and that's... his heart and his will is always going to be there. It's just his body. But from what I'm hearing from the Strong Style camp is he's just now peaking in his performance, and he's taking it to younger guys in the gym, which is a good sign, and with the confidence level. Back to Conor McGregor real quick. With McGregor's product and why he's so successful is I think he truly believes in what he's doing. I mean, when he knocked out that dude, he was going through the same motion in the locker room before the fight. The bell rang, he went out and did that motion, knocked the guy out.
He was able to visualize it.
That self-belief, if you have that and you can follow through with that, I think our potential is unlimited.
All right, so last question for you. So we've already kind of talked about navigating through the world of professional fighting. Now, as a promoter, is there any advice you would give to anybody across the country thinking of kind of transitioning into that world and starting a fight promotion?
Be ready for an uphill battle, and get people around you who are that believe in your vision. The thing that's kept the RFOs together for so long is when I get knocked down or I'm feeling down, there's someone there to pick me up. My friends are so loyal and they share the vision. I mean, we sit and talk about fights and where we want to take this thing all the time. Like after the show's over, we'll stay up till 5 in the morning thinking about the ripple effect. What good did we do tonight for the community, and where can we get better? Where did we make mistakes, or where were there shortcomings, or things we didn't address at the fight with seating or anything like that? So just get a team around you. If you believe that you're going to do it by yourself, you're going to fail quickly.
All right, Matt. Well, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to the next RFO shows and covering more of your fights, and hopefully talking more in the future.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate your time as well. This is a conversation that I needed to have. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Later, man.
Later.